Chapter 13 Flames. Jard, hang up, I hissed, attempting to grab the phone from my brother, but he reeled backwards, snuffing at me. Who is this? Why do you keep calling us? Demanded Jard. It's someone messing with us. Just hang up, I ordered, causing Jard to quieten me, shaking his head, his brown hair down onto his face, flapping down onto his forehead. You've got a very bossy older sister, Jard, grumbled the man from the phone, his voice like venom causing me to jump out of my skin. How does he know your name? How does he know who we are? I whispered, looking at a wide-eyed Jard. The voice chuckled, his hoarseness almost making me gag. You two were a mistake. Jard glanced down at the phone, his hand shaking as he growled, but the caller had hung up. Causing Jard to curse under his breath, he started fumbling around with his phone, his eyes turning a dark, stormy color. What are you doing? I asked him, sullen, calling him back. I shook my head, snatching the phone from Jard's shaking hand. No, do not talk to him. Block the number. Clara, give me my phone back, yelled Jard, causing our father to run in, his face masked with concern. What a guys? What is going on in here? Questioned my father, crossing his arms across his chest. Another cold caller called. He knew her name, said Jard, flinging his hands up in the air. My father pinched the brink of his nose, shaking his head. Block the number. It's someone pranking us. But Dad, block the number, Jard, ordered my father, storming out of the room, mumbling to himself. Jard turned to me, shooting a glance in my way. Seriously, Jard, don't call him back, I growled, popping Jard's phone down on his lap as I made my way up to my room. Flicking down on my bed, pulling the covers over my head, closing my eyes and sighing deeply, enjoying the feeling of oxygen floating up my lungs, causing me to explode. I don't care that I have dampened my sheets. I was far too stressed and confused to pay attention. Suddenly, a sharp pain shot through my abdomen, causing me to gasp. Sitting up, I clenched my stomach as I quietly hissed to myself, waiting until it slowly disappeared. I dragged myself into the bathroom, glancing at myself in the mirror, not enjoying what I saw looking back at me. My face was masked with stress, and my under eye bags were darker than normal. My skin was paler, even paler. I brushed my wet dark hair back, stepping in the shower, allowing the steamy hot water to stream down my body, almost burning my skin. I allowed Dylan to invade my thoughts, images of him appearing as I relaxed. Unable to think of anything besides my mate, a dull thump started at the back of my head, causing me to ground to myself, ducking my head under the shower head, allowing the water to soak my long hair all the way through. I spent what felt like hours in the shower, eventually sitting down with my back pressed against the shower wall, my knees tucked up to my naked chest. I finally shut the water off, stepping out and wrapping myself in a fluffy towel, drying my soft skin. I pulled on a pair of black spandex shorts and white training top, looking out the window, seeing the sun start to set. My body didn't feel up to training with Dylan, but I didn't want to turn him down, especially since he had offered to do such a kind favor for my brother. I padded downstairs with wet hair, allowing it to drip down my back, enjoying the feeling of it on my overeaten body. Are you going on a run? Asked Jard, looking me up and down, raising an eyebrow. Oh no, I'm training with Dylan, and so are you. I forgot to tell you, I replied, causing Jard to widen his eyes, cocking his head. I'm training with Alpha Dylan? He asked, tapping his fingers against the wheels of his wheelchair nervously. I nodded, flashing my brother a smile. Yep, and Gayla, if she's up for it. Why would Alpha Dylan want to waste his time training me? Questioned Jard, his voice low as if he was asking himself. He offered, I think he thinks you have great potential. Great potential. Clara, I'm in a wheelchair, stated Jard, shaking his head. So it doesn't mean you can't be a great fighter, I said, swagging my shoulders, putting on my shoe. Dylan is probably finishing up his session with the fighter, so we should get ourselves down to the training grounds. Is that why you're coozing up to him? To get him to train me? I widened my eyes, glancing at my brother. No, Jard. He actually offered. And be quiet, I don't want that to hear. Jard held his palms up defensively, nogging at me. Okay, let's go. I followed my brother out of the house, walking closer behind him as we made our way to the training grounds, breathing heavily as I brushed my ear out of my face, not enjoying the feeling of anything touching me. Jared cranked his neck, raising his eyebrows at me questionably. Are you okay? You don't look right. What do you mean? I asked, encouraging him to wheel faster as I strode past him quickly. Your face is all flushed. Are you embarrassed to see your secret lover again? I shook my head, chuckling to myself as my head continued to thump, making me rub at my temple, massaging them gently. I blinked as my vision became blurry, shaking my head to try and regain my sight, frustrated that I was suddenly feeling so unlike myself. As we rounded the corner, the fighting grounds came into view, causing butterflies to rise in my chest. The fighters were grabbing their belongings, thanking my mates as they made their way away from the field, causing the multiple females who were watching the dispute, including Gayla. I rolled my eyes as Gayla caught sight of me jogging my way. I'm starting to think you have a crush on Dylan or something, Gayla. You're always here, I laughed, raising my eyebrows at my best friend. Oh, shut up, laughed Gayla, shaking her head. I just enjoy watching Matthew get beaten up each session. Apparently, Alpha Dylan is training us, announced Jared, chuckling to contain his excitement. Gayla squinged her eyes at me, crossing her arms over her chest. When George says us, yes, he means the three of us, I laughed. Oh my god, when did you secretly organize this? Earlier, I replied, catching sight of Dylan who was gawking down a pink point of water, sweat dripping from his chest glistening in the sunlight. Hey, beautiful, mumbled my mate, smiling down at me, causing me to blush. You ready to train? You look worn out, Dylan swagged, chuckling. I'm always ready. Jared wheeled up behind us, rubbing his hands together in preparation. Alpha Dylan, I really appreciate this. You don't know how much this means to me. No worries, man. Let's see what you've got, replied Dylan, gesturing for us to all line up. I began to stretch, laughing to myself as Dylan studied me, eyeing up my bare legs, his eyes turning dark and stormy as he concentrated on the way I move, my black shorts slowly rising up, exposing a little too much. I glanced at Dylan's bare chest, arousal bubbling up inside of me uncontrollably, causing me to laugh, clenching at my stomach. My mate raises his brows at me, his face masked with worry, but I held my hands out, laughing. I'm fine. Heat started to make its way through my veins, almost burning me from the inside, causing extreme discomfort. But I also couldn't take my eyes off my beautiful mate, feeling completely in awe of his sweaty and muscular form in front of me. Suddenly, I was pulled from my daydream by Gayla clearing her throat, and I turned to see my best friend and my brother watching me, both of their eyebrows raised, their faces masked with concern. Gayla, Clara, why are you sweating so much? We haven't even properly started yet, asked Gayla, flickering her brows, looking me up and down. I wiped at my forehead, shocked at the feeling of how hot and sticky it was. I wiped my clammy hands on my spandex shorts, pulling at them, suddenly feeling frustrated of the feeling of them rubbing against my body. Clara, are you okay? Asked Dylan, cocking his head to the side as he watched me. I nodded, blinking multiple times as I dropped my guns, feeling embarrassed. Yeah, let's get started. Okay, let's start with a 10 minutes jog around the field to warm up. I want a nice, sturdy pace. No slacking, ordered my mate, folding his arms over his chest. Jared knocked, wheeling ahead, pushing his arms order and order as he sped off ahead, the wind blowing through his light brown hair. I took a deep breath to prepare myself before setting off, moving my legs at a comfortable pace, turning to see Gayla quickly overtaking me, winking as she did so. Faster, Clara, encouraged Dylan, causing me to quicken my pace, pushing my legs faster. I growled at myself in frustration as I watched Gayla and George both easily speed along. My breathing rate fall out of control and I stopped, bracing my hands on my knees as I attempted to intake as much oxygen as I could. I felt Dylan place a gentle hand on the small of my back, rubbing it softly. Clara, are you sure you're okay? I glanced into Dylan's ocean blue eyes, just wanting to pull him to me and kiss him passionately. My inner wolf was howling at me, begging me to take him to my bedroom and make love to him all night. And the thought of the pleasure Dylan could make me feel made me almost choke, arousal spilling out of my body. Dylan growled deeply as he studied me, looking me up and down, a shocked expression masking his face as he took a step back, flickering his brows. Oh no! What? I mumbled, wiping at my sweaty forehead as another shooting pain overtook my abdomen, causing me to crouch and hasten. Clara! Called Gayla as she appeared next to me, kneeling down next to me as she looked between my mate and I, watching Dylan as his eyes turned pitch black. It hurts, I wobbled, as a wave of nausea overcame me, my head spinning as my vision became blurry, heat raising within me, burning me. Clara, you're in heat.